Well, greetings and welcome back. I have today Ben with me, and I know it has been a little bit since I have personally had anything out there. There was another video I tried recording about a week or two ago. I don't actually remember. I was right in the middle of when my body was trying to do all sorts of not so fun human things, and I know I didn't release it, so that might come after, probably after this. But this one will be coming since it is relevant now, and that is the world we live in, is the relevant world. So that little backstory aside, Ben, how have you been?
I've been good. Yeah, it's nice to be back on the show and talking Flesh and Blood. It's been a while, so I know we've been playing some pretty good games at the LGS, and your Puffin deck has been doing really good. It's been fun.
Yeah, that's actually one of the videos that I don't think got released. Is I talked with Matt and I think it was Robert about teching that deck up and empowering myself to learn some of the lines a little bit better. So that obviously is showing at the armory. Now I'm not
Yeah,
like hardcore tournament grinding it or anything, but definitely unique enough to see that truly just even playing bad on Talishar and being coached through, hey, this is a line that I saw that you did that's not the best, or hey, here's a line that you did that was actually really good, translates to better games because we had one where we were at like 1-1, I think,
oh yeah,
right?
1-1 life. Yeah,
So
that could have gone either way.
that was I was
Fang
happy.
versus Fang versus Puffin.
Was happy about that. So not
Yeah,
well, I guess I'm just going to say today's agenda is going to be kind of I don't want to say a short one, but I feel like the major topic I wanted to kind of talk about, especially given that you were a Marlin, or still, I'm gonna say still are a Marlin main. I know that you, I think, recently started to say you were going to divest yourself of that deck, but I wanted to talk over the scheduled ban and restricted announcement and some of the verbiage within here, and more specifically how that pertains to you know my deck Puffin, your deck that you were playing Marlin, Gravy Bones, and pretty much anybody else that leverages some of the cards that are talked about. So I'm going to jump off
yeah.
camera for a second, and we're going to go over to the Brian Gottlieb's page.
The B&R.
Yeah, so the very first and big thing here is Bonds of Agony in Classic Constructed is banned. Now,
Yeah.
I have a very slow computer today, but Bonds of Agony is one of those cards where honestly I had not played much with this card because I haven't played much Assassin, but you know I don't even think in the local scene I hadn't really seen anybody leverage this. So
I used to play this card a lot, so New was one of my favorite characters coming out of Mysteria, and Bonds of Agony was an absolute staple in that deck. And for Assassin in general, uh, it's just such a good card. I mean, it just is playing mind games with you. It's threatening the okay, well, if I don't block this, what are you going to be able to take out of my hand, or you're going to be able to take a key piece out of my deck? If I underblock, what's going to happen? It's just so good. And but reading the article, I think the reason why Brian Gottlieb and the team decided to ban it was because of Slippy, and
And
he's
I
just too
see him
good.
called out specifically in the Bonds of Agony. Oh wow, what is
Yeah.
happening here? Mr. Cat, can you please stop doing whatever you're doing? This cat has like the infinite amount of
Trying to get the
energy.
wire.
So, all right, didn't lose anything,
Yeah,
not yet.
not yet. Nope. Picture hasn't gone out yet, so we're good. Yeah. So yeah, I think Brian Gottlieb was just basically saying, like, Slippy makes this card way too good, and it just gets way too much value because Slippy gives it go again, and there's really not a downside to the card. at all with Slippy because you're Slippy basically just says, okay, it's going to get go again. And if you block it, if you take your whole hand and block it, then guess what? I'm just going to move on to my next stealth attack. And then here's the other D reacts that I have in my hand. So you can just get smacked with that. Or if you do, if you do block it, if you don't block it, it's going to rip your hand apart either way. So there's just no good out for you when that card comes out.
So here's a question. Bonds of Agony was a Mysteria card, MST, but Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks came out in Hunted, which is after. So in theory, LSS had perfect knowledge that this card existed in the pool when they were releasing Arachne. So
Yes.
why, beyond my knowledge, were they not worried about it at launch, but now they're worried about it now? What changed? What, I guess my question from the layman is, what possibly changed? Because it's not like, hey, this came out in the latest Armory deck, Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks Armory deck, which that's just a random one, but that is coming though. We are getting an Arachne Slipped Through the Cracks Armory deck.
Yeah.
So clearly, Bonds of Agony,
which is kind of wild too,
probably is not going to be in that deck, I would assume.
Who knows? It might be. Like, we don't know, right?
Hunter's
they
Clave?
These things so far out of that. Yeah.
Or Orba Class.
Hunter's Clave. Oh
Orba
my gosh.
Class.
If they put Orba Class in that deck, I'm just going to burn it. That's what's going to happen. There has to be a Hunter's Clave in that deck. It's so needed in the game. It's like that card is worth more than most legendaries in this game.
Knocked over the little bobblehead. It's like a Funko Pop. The cat was using it as a cat toy, so I'm learning that little things that are all over the place are becoming the animal's domain.
Yes, very quickly. Yeah, and the Slippy, and just new. So I don't think it was. It's weird because in the article they mentioned, like, well, the stats don't show that any of the decks right now are oppressive. Like, Flippy doesn't have oppressive numbers, and Gravy Bones doesn't have oppressive numbers when it comes to this format. I mean, I really think it's somewhat pretty balanced. I mean, you've got kind of a rock paper scissorish kind of meta where
rock paper scissors
Arachne,
lizard Spock.
I'll
give credit to Dice Commando for that, because like I was trying to find a fun way at some point to describe the whole dichotomy of different heroes and the interweaving, because I think even in our locals, right, you have aggro decks, which we can bulk into, like, Puffin is one, Dash is one, hell, even Marlin kind of is almost an aggro in some capacity, but really, that's more of like a combo go tall kind of a deck. And heck, even KO might even be considered like, chaos, or it's its own flavor of weird, because we could talk about your experience with that later, but like the just the other, like Gravy Bones is much more methodical to have to set up, so it's like what they would call like a stacks or a combo deck. And then Matt plays like Kano, wizard type stuff, or Acilio, which those are definitely more like combo style, wombo combo. But like each of them kind of has a good with a hero, but a bad with a hero. But it's not, your card draw can still screw you. Like, I had a game where I was playing against it was just an OG Bravo with my Puffin deck, and I didn't see, like, of 50% of my deck being blue, I think I saw like 2 blues the entire like part of the game, where I was getting beat to death by like seismic surges and everything else, because it was just like discounted rate of death. It's like, okay.
Yeah, no blues. Yeah, that doesn't help. When you need those to really get your engine going, that's not good. Yeah, it's
gold is important.
Gold
is important, very important, apparently.
Gold is very important for a lot of different decks, especially Gravy Bones, because Gravy Bones can just stack up a ton of gold with golden tipples
Well,
and all the other gold generating cards in that deck,
not
and
no
then
more,
pop
because
off.
that's number 2 on this list. Golden Tipple, red and yellow, but they left the blue. So they, I guess, to run through this, they banned Bonds of Agony, Golden Tipple red, Golden Tipple yellow. We'll come back to the next 3 here: the Plume of Evergrowth, Talk Big Game, and Germinate. Because, or actually, Germinate got unbanned. So we'll talk about the unban here in just a second, because we have probably Robert will be pretty happy about that. I think he said
Yes.
for Florian. But Golden Tipple in general, I was actually looking at putting that card into Puffin to get gold, because I felt I was running into some problems where I wasn't seeing enough gold. However, now I can't. But neither can Gravy and neither can Marlin. And
Marlon.
I was told a lot of people were running this in Marlin, but your version of Marlin, the real big go tall one, you said you weren't running that. Can you maybe walk me through your thoughts on why you opted not to even leverage that pirate card that a lot of people put in there?
Yeah, I so and the way my Marlin deck runs is it runs like a very go tall, kind of like the classic Azalea go tall decks where you have a bunch of pumps. So you play these non attack actions that will pump up your arrows. But for her, I so instead of she doesn't have a natural way to put arrows into arsenal like Death Dealer does for Azalea. So Death Dealer for her just allows you to put a card into arsenal and draw a card, which is incredible because that bow is so good. But the Hammerhead doesn't allow you to actually put any arrows into arsenal, so you have to think of another way to do it. And with the Marlin's ability, that is drawing cards. So you have to be able to draw cards, which means cracking gold, so that you can load an arrow into arsenal so you can fire it. So instead of being so, I thought, well, I why should I rely on the gold generation to do it? I should just use my pumps to put cards into arsenal. So I run pumps like Take Aim, which lets you reload and load an arrow or just reload any card, or I put in Overflex, which lets you reload, and then we've got Call in the Big Guns, which lets you basically load an arrow into arsenal. So I've got all these different ways to load up arrows without having to rely on gold so much. That way I have more the deck make the deck more consistent. And I found like it worked fairly well. It just I just kind of fallen out of love with that deck as I had hands where I would just get ranger hands where I would just get absolutely nothing in my hand and then have to take a turn off and just get slaughtered by some of the faster aggro decks out there. So it's not Azalea. It's not like I can't do fun things like send 14 dominate with blood rot poxes and frailties and inertias every turn. So it's definitely not the same deck. And so I'm kind of just still kind of playing around with it.
Well, I want to touch on something pretty interesting about the specific wording in this article about Golden Tipple, because there's 2 parts of this that stand out, and I don't understand at my level of play why this was said this way, because it's interesting. The part that stood out the most to me is it says, in my 30 years of TCGs, I struggle to find an analog for Gravy Bones experience, or for the Gravy Bones experience. Now, I don't want to read this whole thing verbatim because everybody can read their own thing, but like that one sentence right there, 30 years of TCGs, that is such a huge swath of time that, like, I don't know if it's on purpose that they said that, or if he is basically trying to put, like, we'll call it the big boy pants on, the hat, the whatever he wants to put on, because the gravitas, the gravity of using 30 years, it is more than probably most of the Fab players' mean average lifetime or half-life of their being. Like, many people I know aren't even 30 or older playing this game, but of us that are over 30 years, we're not having 60-year-olds playing this game. Probably there are, but like the average person is probably in their late 30s, early 40s, maybe somewhere in that ballpark. So
Yeah,
this is a hell
20,
of a
20 to
sentence.
40.
Like, why do you think it was such a specific call out that they chose to use that he just can't find an equal to, because an analog experience or an a way to describe how they want Gravy Bones to function as a hero.
Yeah, I don't. I really didn't understand that whole message behind that because I felt that Dromai operated very similar, like very similar to him, like not as much with like the gold stacks, but just being able to slap allies down turn after turn after turn after turn. Like we don't get that with Prism. You get, however many angels she has in her deck. Well, I think it's like eight. So you have eight angels, but you can run three copies of every, necromancer zombie in that deck. So you can bring in, I don't know, 20 zombies if you want to. So and same thing with Dromai. She can run three copies of all the dragons and Ashwings, so she could just swarm the board. And she ran gold for a while too. She was running things like Tome of Imperial Flame with Crown of Dominion, and so she was able to crack the gold and use Flame Skill Furnace and basically turn on her ability and create Ash on turn one and do all these things and basically just get her engine going. So I don't really kind of get that whole, it's something like we've never seen, or I've never seen this kind of deck in my 30 years. Maybe maybe for Flesh and Blood, right? It's different, but it's an ally based deck.
But each hero is
It's
supposed
a
to be
board
different, isn't
state
that?
hero.
That's like the draw
Yeah,
to Fab is that Bravo is not Azalea. Azalea is not Dash. Dash is not Lexi. Lexi is not Bravo Star of the Show. Like what they're all very different.
very different.
Which leads me into another sentence that they had in here, which is again, it's the words that are the most interesting to me because I had to look this word up because I don't even know if it's a real word. Like I'm still trying to figure out if this is just like a description word, but it's thus far Gravy Bones' power has been tied up in the fact that it has an almost infatigable amount of gold. I think that's what that word is supposed to say. What is infatigable? How do you fatigue gold? Like in the game, right? Gold would typically be like I would have a gold to crack it to draw a card. That is or in Puffin, right? I would use that gold to tap my hero ability to then allow me to basically I would draw turn the gold into a golden cog. So like I'm not really drawing a card, but I'm doing a thing which gives me another benefit. But Gravy was taking that gold, maybe at times pitching a blue because I think Swell Tide's another card they call out in here, but like that's the one where I think if it attacks and they're flip the top card, and if it's a
Yep.
blue,
If it's a
pitch it
blue,
or whatever, which
you get free
gives you, if
resources.
you have a second gold, basically gives you a free access to drawing a free card, like
Free card draw.
which
And
is
Gravy Bones is really good at converting blues and golds into just free card draw and free card advantage.
in that why they got rid of the whole book burning thing anyways, or got rid of all the books, is because
Yeah.
the access to draw cards was too predominant. So
Yeah, they didn't want people to draw multiple cards in a turn, and especially like cards like Cash In and anything where you could draw two in a turn, basically. And we still have some draw. We definitely have more draw two cards in this game. It's like we it's kind of harder to do it, but so a lot of them have more drawbacks now. But like you have things like Blood Rush Bellow, and you still have Herald of Erudition, which are still incredibly powerful cards that let you draw two cards in this game. So they didn't get rid of all of them. We still have Tome of Imperial Flame lurking around that could pop off anytime another Draconic hero comes around, or we get a new Dromai in the future. That card will certainly get looked at for any kind of deck building. So I don't know. I think maybe they get in trouble a lot of times with cards like Golden Temple or cards that are in the rainbow variety of just red, yellow, blue. When you have access to 9 copies of any one card, it makes the deck
well,
super
9 copies of 60 cards
consistent.
is a pretty big percentage
Yeah,
of your deck.
it is. It
I
makes it
think
so consistent.
yeah, the other interesting thing is at the very end here, they talk about Marlin will have her kit built up over time with small support and Super Slam, and then subsequent sets talking about it. So now that brings me to the question of, if they do release a hero and it's has the now 0.5 multiplier, the 1 multiplier, and the 1.5 multiplier, which would yield the years worth of, or try to not make sure they go out of, I
I'm
guess
thinking 2 years.
they don't parachute out too fast like Aurora possibly did, or Starvo.
Yeah.
Well, if they know they're gonna probably have cards coming down the pipeline, I don't know if they do or not. I'm not putting words in their mouth, hopefully, but like if Marlin was built in high seas, but that was not the hero they thought was going to be popular, yet obviously it clearly is still very damn good. And
Yeah.
now they're saying that, hey, we're taking these things away, but just be aware you're going to get more things in the next 2 to 3 sets. Like, does that mean that now, if I was a Marlin player, I now have to say, great, I got to go purchase a little bit of this set and a little bit of that set and a little bit of this set instead of being able to buy an armory deck that would have had that stuff in there, possibly. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too deep into that statement, but it seems interesting that they're making it known that maybe this is an archetype or a way they're approaching heroes now, where they're like looking at a hero and saying, okay, yeah, we had to take away these things to stop the big bad ugly, but now that we know it's basically brought this hero down to its knees, I'm paraphrasing, that like all we're going to do now is fix it by releasing additional cards and they'll come out in due time. Like, does that sound accurate or a good summary of what that kind of means? Or
Yeah, I really don't think like, I mean, I really don't know like if the bans were actually even really warranted because Gravy Bones wasn't dominating tournaments. I mean, they said so in the article itself. It's the numbers. The numbers say that Gravy Bones does not dominate tournaments, and he kind of gets ran over by all these aggro decks. Like we've got any kind of ninja and any kind of aggro deck like Dash IO or even like Arachne had a kind of like a 50-50 matchup into him, which is pretty good. But so you kind of had this like kind of rock paper scissors thing going on, which was good. You had the aggro-y ninja decks like Syndra and Fies or whoever somebody was trying to bring to a tournament, and then you had Gravy Bones, which is illusionist based. Oh, looks like the cat got something.
yeah,
And then you've got Arachne, which
I
is
just
kind of
pulled
like
that out
this
of its throat.
mid-range.
Sorry, because it was about to swallow the whole
Exactly.
thing. Butthead. Jesus.
It's like
It's some sort
just
of
getting into
foam.
everything.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, something to mess with.
It's messing with me.
Yeah, you've got
I,
these three different decks that are kind of keeping each other in check, and not one of them is really more dominant than the other. And then you've got these rogue decks that come in, like Dory is really good into Gravy Bones, and Dory is really good into other some kind of ninja decks like Syndra, and I imagine would do okay into Slippy, probably not great, but it makes room for some of these other decks to come in and have a shot at a tournament, or like we saw. I think so. Really, what I think happened is so. Did you see any of that live stream of the final match of the Arachne slip through the cracks in the Fang deck? It was like I
I
can't
have
remember
not
which pro
watched it
tour.
yet.
Pardon.
Yeah, based on the last 2 weeks of me just kind of having a lot of weird things happen, I have not really spent time to kind of catch. I missed a lot of content between the last month, so you'd have to fill me in on specifically any details with it.
Yeah. So what the Slippy basically did in like the early turns of the game was Slippy said, "Okay, okay, Fang, I'm gonna play Bonds of Agony, and it's got go again with Slippy's ability because it gets its natural go again from that." And so the Fang was like, "Well, it's an aggro deck. Fang doesn't want to block, so Fang basically just blocked 4, which is a pretty decent block to try to block out Bonds of Agony because if he puts 3 in front of it, it's going to get pumped up." So the player has a Just a Nick in arsenal and a Just a Nick in hand, and then has another attack reaction on top of that. So was able to pump up the Bonds of Agony to like over 14 power, and so the guy takes like half of his life total on turn whatever, like turn 1, turn 2, like really early in the game, and basically just loses the game on the spot there because he just lost half of his life from 2 attack reactions that pumped it up to well over 14. So I get it, but it's one of those things where like like you know, like it's going to, like, if you don't stop it, you're gonna get throttled by that card. So you just give them all of your armor, give them your whole hand, and then try to mitigate it and move on to another turn and lose tempo. But I don't know what I would have done in that spot. I probably would have blocked more, honestly, or just given them my whole hand and moved on. And I
Well,
just, yeah,
that
you just don't know. You don't know.
I mean, that kind of leads into the other two bands here, the Plume and the Talk Big Game, which I'm going to go in reverse order. I'm going to talk about the Talk Big Game first, which is an intriguing pre-ban, but they're basically saying that they're banning that because of a card that comes up. And again, they used a very fancy word here that I thought was kind of interesting. Um, Talk Big Game would allow a I can't even say it, loquacious
Loquacious.
a couple of loquacious heroes to run their mouth off a bit too much, which I'm assuming basically means like KO, or somebody would be able to, get a crap ton of like might tokens, which for those that don't know about Talk Big Game, it's a guardian slash brute card. And that card specifically is a action card with go again. It's blue, cost 0. Choose a number. The next time you deal that much or more damage to a hero this turn, create that many might tokens. So if you already know you can intimidate them and basically come in for 5 or 6 or 10 or something ridiculous, like what happened in your game with Jake, not just Jake, the other Jake, then you could just basically say, here's my stack of might tokens and here's another 10 on top of what I just did. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
a wildfire for Guardians.
it is. It's crazy. Like, I was imagining a scenario where, like, I think Lyeth is probably going to be the worst offender of that, and then brute, some brute being able to like triple intimidate or do something. But that one revile card allows you to triple intimidate off that one card. So you can have talk a big game in Arsenal, and then, so this is what I was imagining. So because I think the way Lyeth is going to play is, because all of his attack and defense values get halved, any of the numbers printed on the cards, he's got to be able to play pump cards to pump up the attacks, because the pump doesn't count towards the half. So he's got to play things like Crash Down or Towering Titan. So you can set up a turn where you play, because you've got 5 card hands, and you can do these types of crazy things, is set up a Towering Titan the turn before, and then put a Talk a Big Game into Arsenal. And then next turn, you could play the Reviled card that intimidates them 3 times. And then it gets plus 10 from Towering Titan, so that the card's coming in for 13 or whatever crazy power. And then you say, okay, yep, I'm going to say Talk a Big Game. I'm going to say 10. And next turn, I get 10 might tokens. I really like that. Seems like something that he could easily set up and do. So I kind of see it. I really do.
I mean, either way, I still think that it sucks that card went away because, like, I was even looking at it for just something fun. But I mean, I guess there's always UPF. But um, Plume of Evergrowth is another interesting card, but I think that one is more tied to the Germinate, right? Because the Plume of Evergrowth is an Earth equipment head, and Germinate is a Florian specialization. With now that that's been unbanned, it's going to allow you to create rune chance and gain a decent chunk of life. And I think they talk a little bit about the Plume of Evergrowth, but I don't quite get the combo that they're going with this, because maybe I just don't play enough of Verdance to know, or Verdance to know how that works. So I don't
I
have
think
anything
maybe it
further
was.
to say on it, but it is interesting that it's a common that got banned.
It is. It's a common. I think, and on the face value of it, it doesn't seem that powerful, right? Because you're basically just getting rid of one card for another. You're trading a blue. You're trading in a blue for another card. But the other side of that is like late game, which is where this is probably coming into play, either with Germinate trying to get another Germinate back, or Verdance is trying to get another key blue, or some key card out of the graveyard. Is it basically, because late game when you've got a full graveyard stacked up, it basically becomes a tutor for like any card, any Earth card in your deck at that point. So maybe that's the way that they saw it was, oh, maybe we shouldn't just give these heroes act like a basically a tutor access to this on their headpiece. So
Sure.
that's probably what I would guess is the way they were looking at it.
Which is, I could see that. But again, this goes back to the game has a lot of classes that do very interesting things, and maybe that's not what the envisionment for that class is or for where they wanted Verdance to go. That's all I can think of.
Yeah.
Jumping down to Blitz, Talk Big Game was the only thing that was banned, and then Living Legend, they unrestricted Deadwood Dirge, which is, again, very interesting because when I got the decks at Gen Con, I noticed that in the deck list, they had a card that was basically incompatible with the deck list, and now they have fixed that. So cool, thank you. Like now I can play the list as is, which was kind of funny. They do kind of daintily talk about that with the splash damage.
Splash damage to Viscerai.
I thought it was funny. So.
Yeah, and us fellow assassin players, we've got our splash damage to Bonds of Agony, right? We've all got to pay for the sins of Slippy. Like it just that card is so good, and I'm gonna miss that card, and hopefully they bring it back. But my guess is they probably won't bring it back until after Slippy LLs.
Well, the list of banned cards across the game is growing, but somewhere something said like web of. Basically trying to not make it overly complicated. I'm sure it's in there somewhere, but they essentially called out to make it very known that they do not want to have like this hero has these cards banned and this hero has these cards banned, but it's legal for these heroes. That's my take of what they were trying to hint at. So,
yep, because they can't just say, okay, well, Slippy can't play this card, which, well, guess what? Now the rest of us assassins, we can't play Bonds of Agony anymore. So it's like, we kind of lost one of our best power cards in our whole class. So
yes,
hopefully they make us up for it in some other upcoming expansion slot.
Now I'm gonna specifically only use because I actually haven't checked, and I was gonna talk about. Super Slam cards that have been officially revealed. And I say the word officially because there was a very interesting conundrum that kind of transpired almost within the last 2 to 3 days of when we're filming this, which the long and short is it sounds like someone intercepted part of the new set and they proceeded to open that set, and then that became... for better or worse, in the public domain, cards were spoiled. There are two very different camps that exist online about this, some of which are, let's just have it out there because it's fair game for everybody and no one gets an advantage. And then there's the other half of this, which is spoiler seasons is all sorts of screwed up now. So it is disheartening to see that this happened. Like, I definitely feel for the people that this impacted that were the content creators.
The content creators.
And I
would be on the side of, this is horrible because this is, I look forward to spoiler season. I like not all the cards being spoiled right up front. I like the slow drip of, hey, here, we're going to have a spoiler every day. Here's a new card to look at, check out. It really gets you kind of hyped up and pumped up to go play at your pre-release. And even if you might not be super attached to the set, like I'm not super attached to Brute and Guardian, but you know what? If I'm super hyped up for it and I want to go play. So it just gets you that much more hyped up. It's that marketing, and I'm sure James White and team are super incredibly mad about this coming out because it really does hurt their game. It really hurts their product. It hurts their release. This is what you do to draw in more people because they're using it for Facebook and paid social ads. They're using. And
you're in more of the marketing mindset, right? Like you probably understand this better than myself because like if a team of people have set up a very specific web
A
of
huge marketing
details
campaign.
to orchestrate to say, look, this leads to that, to this leads to that, and this gives a little breadcrumb of here for people to think about. Then when we tell them this, now they have that breadcrumb to build in. Like, that is no
With
longer a
emails.
thing, mostly at this
No,
point.
you're talking about probably hundreds of thousands of dollars of wasted campaign time that has probably transpired because of this. Because you've probably got emails lined up, you've got social posts lined up, you've got all kinds of either probably paid search, or you've got all kinds of things that you've invested. You've probably got interviews. You've got one-on-one interviews. You've got content creators that have now, they're big to do that probably, if you're a content creator and you get a spoiler, like that's a big deal that really pushes your channel forward. So
Alex was
that's
very
that hurt.
excited for his. I think he still is excited for his, right? But like, I heard DM Armada released a video, and it sounds like his card had been revealed.
Affected.
There, I think several other people that I had seen on various posts had their cards affected, and I was just looking at the Super Slam official card database, and there's only officially at this point 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 cards that have been revealed, and of them it is the adult heroes and like one Majestic and three super rares. So 3 Majestic, 3 super rares. And they did reveal the Olympia. What was that? The gold piece set.
The
So
gold
like,
armor.
yeah, there's a couple more that are out here that I guess I didn't quite know were officially revealed. But beyond that, right? There were others. There were things that are out there that I won't be personally talking about, but like it's sad because now especially people going to Montreal that like at Gen Con I had me and you both. I think you got to see cards brand new from
Oh, yeah.
Guardian Pack
I
Mastery.
remember we opened a brand new card that had not been seen before in the world, and we were the first person to get eyes on it. Like
Yeah,
that was super cool. Had it on camera. So
and
like
it's
that's awesome. And now like you don't get that experience because somebody decided to steal or break some sort of contract to open this product up.
I mean the one card that I can talk about, which I'm excited for, is I think because it's in the Flesh and Blood. What is this? The World Tour Weekly that came out August 26th. There's a new mech card for Puffin called Backspin Thrust, and boy, I'll tell you, that is an exciting card. We actually talked. I think that was when me and Matt were. I think that was about the time. It must have been right at or right around when that was released. That when me and Matt started finding a way to put that in the deck because it's such an interesting ability to have an untap, which is a benefit instead of a detriment. But I think there's a lot of things Flesh and Blood's going to be able to do going forward with this tap. I mean, right now, I think what is it? Old Knocker is that
Hold
is
on.
the reason that one's so expensive or becoming more popular is because there's not really a detriment to like tapping your
Yeah,
hero.
yeah, because it's one of the heroes that want to use it right now don't mind having their hero top down. They can just be like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna tap my hero down. Okay, doesn't affect me in any way. So they just basically get an instant on-demand resource whenever they want to use it.
I still wonder, and again, not looking at Super Slam, but maybe let's say the next set, if there's going to be any equipment, because equipment seems to be where these things would live, that are bolt-ons that'll say like, in order to do this, you must tap your hero, or you must tap a thing, or untap a thing, because if an old hero like Bravo, that's very vanilla, could get a new piece of tech, but that tech has the added thing of their hero has to be tapped but then like once per turn this untaps and then also tap this to untap your hero or whatever, right? It opens up the ability to put more flavorful things on cards that weren't originally meant to have those in or were not part of the design space when the game started. That's a thought I
Yeah,
had. So
yeah. There's that new card in the Bravo welcome deck, in the welcome deck, where the crush effect is it can tap your opponent's hero down. So
mm-hmm.
I mean, I think for the foreseeable future, tap's here to stay. So anything that involves tapping and untapping is going to probably just keep, it's going to have a lot of utility in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, my computer is so silly slow at the moment. I was going to load TCG Player to look at something, but I'm not even bothered because at this point it's stuck on the main
There's
screen.
a
So,
there's a really couple of interesting rares out of high seas. There's a couple blues. There's one called Tit for Tat, and then another one called Regain Composure.
mm-hmm.
And they only come in blue. They're rares. So Tit for Tat is you get to tap your opponent's hero and then untap your hero, which I think long term in the game that card will probably see more and more use as the game goes on.
I feel
Probably
like
Tough
that was
Nut
a
was
card I set
used.
aside to look at for my Puffin deck. I feel like
Yeah,
that one seems like a because it's a rare, right?
yeah, it's a rare.
But it's
It's a rare from High
generic,
Seas.
isn't it? Or is it pirate?
It's generic.
Oh,
Both
it's
of them
generic.
are generic. Yeah. So I think that those are going to have a lot of long term use going like in the future because we're going to keep having tap and untap, and it's a good card to have on turn one. So you could just tap your opponent's hero down turn one. You can untap. So like somebody like Tough Nut, where you have to tap them and then you get to swing the rock at them for 7. You can untap them with Tit for Tat and then hit them with the rock again. So that's pretty interesting. I think there's a lot of combo potential there. And then Regain Composure does something similar where you get to untap your hero and then it gives your next attack +1 or something like that. So just
Hey,
interesting, like little rares that probably will have. You don't think anything of them right now, but in the future they might get looked at.
I'm going to introduce a new segment that I saw a card when my page loaded here, and it sent me to Unhinged Land. So, welcome to Unhinged Minute. All right. So, I have a bone to pick with someone. I don't know who the actual hell makes these decisions, and you're going to key in on what I'm going with this. Battered to a Pulp, LGS 387. I bought from my LGS this box. My LGS told me that their representative, in talking with their distributor or something, said they're not eligible for the promo. That is a fact. That's not bullshit. That's not something I'm
Yeah,
making up. That is something that I saw with my own eyeballs written to that store owner. Now, my question is why? Why did you punish a store selling the product? I'm not saying it's LSS. I'm not saying it's the distributor. I don't remember exactly who, but it makes no sense to me that if I want to support my store, I don't get the thing and now I got to go buy the promo somewhere else. That to me is pretty dumb. So
yeah,
that's my minute. And I will just say, I think it's stupid and needs to be addressed.
it's dumb. I'll rant about it too because I sent organized play OP at fabtcg.com and Nastygram yesterday about the same topic where
Oh,
it was
you
like,
actually sent an email to him.
yeah, I sent an email to him. I was like,
Wow.
this
Okay.
is ridiculous. I said, look, my store did not get any of the Batter to the Pulp promos. Like our store has been firing armories consistently for the past 2 to 3 years, and we've had our numbers grow from we started out with like 2 to 3 people, and now we're having armories where we have 6 to 12 people some days. So it's like I don't quite understand what we have to keep doing in order for us to get these things that should just come with the product. Like it should just be there. It should just come with the product. It's already damn hard enough because the only way you can get that card is to get it as a buy a box promo. So luckily I don't play Guardian, but the other 3 to 4 people at our armories do play Guardian, so they need 3 copies of that card. So now they now are decentivized to go to our LGS and buy those Mastery Pack Guardian sets when they can just buy them from either another LGS that has them or go buy them online. Yeah, it's literally it's Blaze 2.0. It's silly. It's bad business. It's like the same thing with the Trottalon promos from Gen Con. I talked about that in the email too. I was like, look, I was at Gen Con. I know for a fact that you were one like Jacob Neatley, like you were one of the very first people in line. They did not have them.
Nope.
Like you
I
were
had to
one of
get
the
this from
first 10.
somebody else. That's how I
Yeah.
got mine. I haven't even opened it yet, but like that's the only reason I have this is thanks to, and I'll call him out, thanks to Tyler Broughton, Righteous Gaming, because I told him, I said, look, man, I am so mad I didn't get that I specifically was buying product to get the generics that I want to play, and it's like this was the only way I was able to get it. It's silly.
I, I wanted three. I wanted to get 3 copies of those so I could have foiled trot-alongs for my
Yep.
Dory or my warrior decks. But guess what? You like we were there. We were in line day one of Gen Con on Thursday. You were one of the first 10 people in line. They had zero the whole convention. It's not like, oh, we just ran out. No, they just didn't exist. They were not there at all whatsoever. It like, and they had it all over their advertising. It was on every Facebook post. It was like on every single page. Like, man, it just put a really bad sour taste in my mouth of just, man, like what how am I supposed to have trust with you now in the future? So you say like, oh well, this next set is going to have these other buy a box promos, and you're like, well, maybe my store just doesn't get them, because we're not cool enough or whatever. So I don't know what the deal is or what the thought process is, but something's got to change.
Yeah, I guess I'm over it at this point. It sucks,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's nothing I'm going to do that's going to get me to get it. It's very similar to when I went to the Hunted pre-release at another store, and I believe that store did not get enough of the promo pack, the initial pack that you're supposed to get with that release. And here we are to this day. I still never got my promo packs. I opted to give it to a newer player because that's what you do. You make sure other people can do the thing. But, yep, woe's me. I never got it, and it sucks because I would have still liked to have had one because I'm a sealed collector and I like things, but we never got it. So, yeah, it sucks. But, that is what it is. Now, I really hope with Super Slam, right, we get these nice little boxy things that we're supposed to get. I swear to you, I swear that if our store doesn't get a minimum of enough to be able to fire and also have, let's say, 5 or 10 more that he can sell me 1 or 2 that we can go home and go to a bar and play, I'm going to be
Yeah.
beyond pissed. Like, there
hopefully
shouldn't be hopefully not a restriction of these. This is speculation because I don't know, and I'm hoping it's not going to be the case, but I reserve the right to be partially angry based on historical track records.
Problems.
Especially given that owner is telling me that, like, he's not really, like, he should get the armory decks. The idea is he should get them, but it's still been historically pretty hard. Hell, even Sloop Dupe and Dice Commando, I think we're talking about something on one of their casts recently, where they're like, the ability to get certain armory decks in certain areas, it's like almost non-existent. Like Gravy Bones is not at the LGS. It's not on the shelf anymore. He has some Ira left, I think, right?
Yeah, he's got a couple Iras left.
But Max is gone. There's no Jarls left. Doesn't have any Dash IOs. Like,
And it's not like, and the other thing too is like, it's not like products just sitting on the shelves. Like he sells basically all of his wave 1 of everything he gets in. So it's like, I don't understand why we get singled out, or that LSS thinks that we're not doing a good job selling product, but because he's going for the mic.
Yeah.
He's because he sells out of everything that he gets in wave 1. Like all of the hunted stuff got sold, all of High Seas got sold, Rosetta got sold, Mysteria got sold, all like everything, that whole, like every wave gets sold out. I just don't know what LSS wants. It's either, because you can't have just like, if you have empty shelves, then you don't have product to sell, and then it becomes super scarce. And then if you have full shelves, it's like, then LSS looks at you and you think, why aren't you selling my stuff? It's like, I don't know what you want. Like, you want like a half deal, like half of it there, half of it gone. Like, I don't get the what they want.
Well, and again, that is for somebody else above my pay grade to figure out.
Yep.
But I think that as a player, it sucks that I have to make decisions on which store I'm going to go to, theoretically, if we only get enough pre-release packs to do like one or two, because then I'm going to have to go to another store that they may or may not even get pre-release packs, because I think they actually didn't qualify for the last pre-release. I don't even know, actually. Did they even hold a pre-release at Valkyrie's Vault? I don't think they did.
They
Because
did not. They did not.
the only one, oh my gosh, buddy, I appreciate
Oh,
you. It Okay, well,
what a sweetheart.
this is, yeah, I really wanted a
Oh,
lovey cat after my other cat passed away, so I'm like not opposed to this, but it is just a very different energy when it's a little baby cat compared to an old man who just wants to sit there and snuggle. Like it's
yeah.
a You want to be a
Oh,
pirate cat. Um, I think I'm just trying to prevent the chewing on all the cables. That's the number
yeah.
one fear I have, because a lot of these cables are expensive, as you're probably aware. Like you eat an XLR cable, I'm not as well, I mean that's expensive. I'm not worried about that, but like I only have one of the earpieces, so I'd have to go buy
Not
another one.
easier.
Yeah, I might have to go buy a spare just to have on a shelf, just to be just in case. But well, it's not that I don't have other things to talk about, but I feel like a nice short just kind of intro back to talking about the B&R and some other stuff um, is kind of where I'm at with things at the moment. As you can see, I'm feeling much better, which I know for a little bit you were watching me walk around with me holding my belly, because I mean, not to put everything on the internet because it's forever, but like my insides were trying to come out. Um, I essentially had abdominal pain, and for those in the medical world, they ran a CT, an MRI, a CAT scan. No, they didn't do the echo. They were going to do an echo, but they didn't get to that point. And they finally made the decision that at this point, it's just not pursuant to better health for me to have that taken out. But we're going to have to kind of just monitor it, and hopefully things are on the up and up, because man, I'll tell you that changes your ability to do anything, like sit up,
Yes.
walk around,
Yeah.
go to a game store and play a game. Like all of these things are like fundamentally changed when you're like, can I sit up today? Nope. The answer is nope. Then sounds like I'm not doing anything. Like it's
Right.
yeah.
That's a little more difficult.
And as sad as it sounds, because it's going to make me sound somewhat like an alcoholic, I'm just glad that I can still drink alcohol and not have to not drink alcohol, because like I don't drink it that often, but when I want like an old fashioned, like it's just nice to have an old fashioned, and I'm like, wow. So you're making
Yeah,
biscuits
sometimes
now?
you just need a little pick me up.
You're making biscuits. Okay.
Oh.
I finally found the position that prevents her from eating the microphone. Well, what do you want to chat about? Anything specific you want to bring to the table for, I don't know, we got at least another couple, 5 to 10 minutes to, make about an hour. I figured that's a pretty good number for a podcast, instead of going 2-3 hours long.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm wondering what's left to be spoiled, because it sounds like there's quite a few. There's a lot of Majestics and super rares in the set. There's a lot of expansion slots.
There's,
So
I think the
there's a lot.
commons and rares did not come to light, or if they have, I haven't seen any of them. I've tried to do my best personally to stay away from them, although it's damn near impossible at this point. I've seen everything that's out there, mostly because I was also trying to coordinate with some people to discover if it was actually a legitimate, like if somebody was just pulling somebody's string. But nope, it seemed like it was very legit and real. So
Yeah. So I wonder what the count of like how many Majestics have been spoiled or known so far, and super rares, because I'd like to see some more like assassin spoilers or warrior cards get spoiled for this set and expansion slot. I know Kasai got a really cool specialization, which I'm really excited about. She got a specialization that is essentially what it allows her to do as an attack reaction. It gives your sword go again, and then
spoiler
if the
alert!
sword,
Spoiler alert!
well, no, this one's known. This one's a known
Oh, this one's
spoiler.
not okay.
Yeah, yeah. So if it hits, you get to create a Centauri Cell Sword, which is really good for her, because you can, if you're going up against Gravy Bones, you can attack with your Centauri Saber. You can play the attack reaction, which allows you to get an on hit for an ally, and then create your own Centauri Cell Sword that you can then send into another ally. So I think that's a really good card. It's for me. It's going to replace Shift the Tide of Battle in my Kasai deck, and I'm looking forward to any other kinds of spoilers coming out that aren't Guardian and Brute related, really. Ninja, Assassin, Warrior stuff.
Well, and the interesting thing that was kind of proposed about Super Slam, right, is it was supposed to be a set where it was the two hero classes or the two talent, two class combo mashup. But the selling point to me, which was why I was going to buy some product, is because they were talking about having a huge variety of expansion.
Yeah,
I'm eating a carrot. You're literally in my mouth. Thank you. They're having a huge expansion slot, which because of that basically meant that there should be enough expansion cards for either every hero or every class to get something specific, or specific enough to be helpful. And yeah, we're not eating that. Thank you.
nope, nope.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting as the year goes on. I think we're probably once Super Slam comes out. I feel like we should be getting the next year's lineup for 2026. So that'll be interesting. I think what they did didn't they like they put out a
Like a
basically the roadmap
roadmap.
for like
Yeah.
the whole year of like, yeah, here's what's going to happen, and Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and here's the products that we've got lined up, and here's what the set names are, and
Well, haven't we been
here's
told
some
that like
armory decks that
Monarch,
we play.
the third Monarch is coming, and then a
Third Monarch.
re-release of a hero should come back. I forget which one they said, but I know that there's at least one hero, the Living Legend, that they said, or I think they being James said it'll be back in this year at some point, right?
Yeah, people did say Aurora. There's another a version of Aurora that they're going to make this year at some point, or 2026, because he did say that Aurora is coming back next year. So we've got Aurora. I don't know if it's going to be another armory deck or if we just get an Aurora and another set or whatever is going to come out. I'd be nice if we get another. I know there's a lot of people waiting patiently on Dromai to use those dragons. Oh,
This
and
cat is like
I really
perched on my arm like a parrot. It's my
I got some mail today. Oh yeah, look at that. You got a that's
it's
your little companion there
it's my
for
parrot. It's
mechanologist.
my
Your parrot,
Puffin.
yeah.
I should have named you Puffin or Cranker. Polly. I should name you Polly. That's your
I like
nickname.
crank it.
Polly.
Oh, look at that. Look at that face. Oh,
She's gonna go to sleep now, isn't she?
oh yeah,
Her leg is straight
she's a
up
real.
hanging off, like one leg over,
Mm-hmm.
just like no cares given. This is what you
Being
wanted
real
the whole
comfortable.
time. Well, what'd you get in the mail? What's your mail day?
Yeah, I got some cool cards today in the mail. I am so I know a lot of people do not like Part the Mistveil, but I'm a big fan of the Mystic class in general. So like I love the artwork. I love Mysteria, the assassins, the ninjas, everything that has to do with that set. So I got some cards. Hopefully while they're not so expensive right now. So I
That's a
picked up
legendary,
extended
isn't it?
art. Yeah, extended art Traverse the Universe.
Nice.
This one lets you go find an inner chi when you block with it. So pick up that one, and then I'm working on getting a complete set of all of the Transcend Marvels.
Yeah, that was
So I
one of those
got
ones when they first came out, and they're surprisingly cheap. Even like, well, honestly, even like Rosetta, the marbles in that set are fairly affordable. But these artworks together would look really beautiful in a binder. That's something I was wanting to do as well.
these are really nice. Like when I think of Marvel for this game, like this is what I think of. Like this card, the Rising Sun, Setting Moon, like this card is absolutely gorgeous. Like this is
And it
a
still has
home
the
run.
fab back, right?
Now it's got the
Or the
so all these
chi.
are back too. All these are Marvel Energy on the back too.
Gotcha. Okay. Because those are the flippers. It was most of the flip cards.
Yeah, all those flip cards. Yep. So I've got six out of the eight right now. I've got Path Well Traveled and Homage to Ancestors.
This cat is watching something, and I'm trying to figure out what this cat is watching.
watching the shiny on the screen. Yeah,
I
I'm missing. So
guess.
right now I'm missing two of those Marvel Transcend Inner Chi cards, and I'll have a full set. So because I'm waiting for there to be another Mystic hero at some point, because James has always said like, hey, we want you to be able to continually use your cards out of your card pool, and we have zero Mystic heroes in the game right now. So I
Yep,
find it
it is
hard
a
to
it
believe
is a
that
gap.
we don't get some sort of Mystic hero next year, either as like a as an armory deck origins or some sort of armory deck as a throw in somewhere.
Armory Deck Origins could be a good call on that, or honestly, even just a expansion pack, Guardian pack version of a
Yeah,
Mystic or something. As my cat
yeah,
drags my
I can
microphone
do that.
away. I do want to maybe go one last little nugget of data over. Now that we are past Gen Con and we are, out to the races with what's out there with Guardian Pack Mastery, what's your month in review? Because basically today, or very close to today, would be about 1 month of this product being in the wild, and I have some thoughts. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Well, I didn't buy any of it because I didn't need any of it. But that's a review in itself, right? Like I didn't need it. Like I don't need any. Like I there's maybe the well grounded or some of the generics that I could have used out of that set, but it's not worth it for me to open up packs just to try to get like that one card, because they're
Sure.
pretty rare to get majestic and legendary generic. So it was like bright lights to me. It didn't appeal to me. I didn't need to buy it. From people that I spoke to, they said that pulling any certain majestic out of there was actually very hard to do,
Yep.
and that the pull rates of the legendaries was actually very tough. We have our mutual friend who I think he opened like 10 to 13 boxes of that, and he only pulled one legendary. So
Yep. I've gotten
kind of
very
crazy,
little high value cards out of what I've
and
purchased.
very
Yeah.
little high value cards.
I still
If when
haven't
you
hit a
hit,
legendary and I still haven't hit a Marvel of my own. Like I've bought some additional cards, but I have not been able to hit those. So,
yeah, if you get one of the big hits, you hit it really big. It's kind of feast or famine. You can get well grounded. You can get the ley line. If you're super lucky, you can pull Marvel Jarl, which we didn't even know existed until like the last day of Gen Con. That tells you how rare it is. Like
yep.
how many packs of that were cracked
Somebody
open
has
for
one of
free.
those listed for $1,500 on TCG Player, and then another one for 3,000, which is just blows my mind. I mean,
I
if they
believe it
think
though. I believe it.
they can get it, more power to them. Like,
Yep. For how rare it was, and we didn't even know that thing was a real card until day 4 of Gen Con. Like that's crazy to me to think that how rare that card is. And we saw ley lines and we saw Marvel Voldas and things like that, but uber rare, incredibly rare.
yeah, I think maybe. I mean, my high level thought, just to give you something, is that the set for crack shuffle play, not bad, especially when you pair it with the whole point of Smash Palace, which, spoiler alert, I'm going to be trying to get you and Matt and Robert, when we can, to film a live version of this, which is the only reason I haven't opened these packs in here, is so we can do that. And that's why I bought refill packs, so we can experience that for at least a couple more times.
I'm
But if
excited.
you, what's up?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to do some Smash Palace. I think that's gonna be really fun.
But yeah, if you're just trying to open the packs to actually find anything, it didn't work. So, which is not the intent of that product, I think. But that's a whole nother ball of wax. So,
Yeah, and for our pre-release for Super Slam, I think everybody wants to do Ultimate Pit Fight for Super Slam. So that'll
really,
be
did
interesting.
we
Like doing
talk the group
yeah,
into doing that?
yeah,
Oh,
they're all on board. They want to do it. So doing pods of 4, and then like winner take all, kind of like if you went out of your pod, I think Alex will probably figure out what to do with the prizes and stuff. But for every pot of 4, You could have a pod, and if there's odd numbers, then maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you do 5 pods of 4 and maybe 5. I don't know, but it'd be nice if it could work out that way.
I'll be excited to hear how we work on it. Now, tomorrow technically is our armory. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow. I'd like to, but I also think I know a couple of our locals are actually sick, so I don't know if they're even going to make it. I'm still trying to coordinate and figure that out, but I might leverage that time to actually do some editing, because then I can get this video out and the other video and kind of actually get some stuff back on track. Because I feel like, even though it only was like 2 to 3 weeks like total, because when the cat passed away, that was on my birthday, and then like there was some other stuff, because we had the oldest cat in our house passed away mid-August, and then I had my stomach thing, and it's just like it feels like forever for me, but like in reality it's been like a half a month, but like holy crap, it just feels like forever. It's very different. So but, so well, thanks for talking about this B&R, man. This is interesting, because it will impact what we can put in our decks. And I had my tipples on the side, and now they are no longer valid to even be in my pool of running. But Loan Shark, holy crap! Did you see what happened to Loan Shark?
I'm sure Loan Shark went through the roof.
Bottle rocket straight on up. So I'm glad I have my Loan Sharks. No, ma'am, you are not.
Raven needs to make gold.
You are not going to be playing around in the background with all the things that can break. Nope, we're not doing that. So,
well, thanks for having me on, Jacob. It's been a good talk, and we'll have to do some more videos coming up.
Yep, I'd love to get some actual gameplay stuff going, and heck, even if it's once a week, just doing a Talishar thing, because I know I'd love to do in paper stuff a lot, but I think that even getting a Talishar game, 30 minutes an hour here or there, something. I'd like to get some of those, especially as kind of I evolve with Puffin, or as I look at some of these other heroes. I'd like to even demo some of the newer. I think Lyeth would be kind of fun. Hell, I'd love to learn Olympia or Betsy, but probably Olympia if I were to pick one. But I have some heroes I'd love to kind of dive down. Not that I want to be mains with them or anything crazy, but just enjoy them, because I feel like they're characters that would be interesting. So,
yeah, I think Olympia would be interesting once he gets all the gold and
revisit my Katsu, my Katsu that I have been neglecting for the last month.
You work on Katsu. He's awesome.
He's sitting right here next to my unsleeved Heathen Ira deck. It's not even sleeved. It's just raw dogging in the thing right there, because I haven't had time. So
yeah, ours is also really good right out of the box.
That deck was whooping our butt. Oh my gosh,
it was.
All right, buddy.
I brought mine. So yeah, it was a good talk though. We'll have to talk more Super Slam as more spoilers come out, and hopefully we get some exciting stuff coming along, and to do some theory crafting and some deck building ideas, and get some brainstorming going.
Yeah, go watch all those content creators that are posting their videos of their spoilers, and just support them via hanging out in the chats. They'll greatly appreciate it. I'm sure there'll be plenty that'll be out there. So, all right.
Yeah. All right. Later, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh God.